bit more salesy. It's going to be a lot more like, let's create a problem. So most people, when they think solar, they want to go directly into, I'm here to save you some money. I'm here to help lower your bill, whatever. That sounds really gimmicky. My approach would be, people care more about the pains and solving some of the bigger pains than just approaching somebody with like free solar, save money on your utility bill. So the approach would be, let's figure out what the problem is that's currently simmering, that's creating a pain that they either know or don't know is happening. So I'm going to divulge or expose or uncover these problems. So problem number one is they're stuck under a monopoly. They've had no choice. They don't have multiple plans they can pick from. You know, if I wanted a cell phone provider, I can go Cricket and get like super cheap, or I could go super expensive. Both are going to provide me phones. I have the liberty to choose my provider. In most utility situations, there is no liberty to choose. So I can play on the ego or the freedom card with the pain. Hey, have you picked your utility plan? Have you guys switched to the low rate plan? And just ask them, and they're like, what do you mean? And you're like, wait, you haven't switched over yet? And I kind of act confused. I act like, you haven't picked the lower plan yet? Anyway, that's actually probably why I stopped by. A lot of the neighbors have been complaining. Now we're going to go into another plan. So problem number two. A lot of the neighbors have been complaining about how high their utilities are getting in the summer. You know, coming up in the summer, I guess, what's your highest electric bill been? And they're like, I don't know, 200, 300 bucks. You're like, yeah, we've had a lot of people complaining at how high the bills are getting in the summertime. That's why we're here. They just, you know, with people being on fixed incomes and, you know, rates going, you know, with this whole corona and people getting laid off and things like that. Yeah, people can't afford these high bills anymore. So there's some pain there, right? So a lot of people are really, they don't know, but they're way overpaying for utility because of where we get our utility from. We have to ship it from out of state, or we have to ship it from these plants, and there's, you know, power lines they have to go through, and they have to, all this infrastructure and surcharges. And so if you look at your bill, a lot of people don't look at all the little teeny fees that they're getting you with. And so what we're doing is helping bring transparency, independency to people's utility option. And, you know, right now, a lot of people don't realize it, but they're paying XYZ just to get the power transported here. So we're actually localizing, and then you go into the solution, which we're going to talk about at the end of this. Another pain point is going to be where we get our power. So this is pulling on the green or the environmentalist heartstrings, and you say, yeah, we're here because of the bad power that we've been producing via coal mines and things like that. A lot of people aren't realizing the impact and the devastation that their utility company is having on the environment. So what we're doing is we're doing a green energy or renewable energy program to help homeowners give back a little bit and actually have a little bit more impact on the environment, where right now they don't realize they're the biggest contributor to the problem. So, you know, you're one that would, if you could save money and help the planet, you'd be all about that, wouldn't you? Like you're not against like recycling and helping the environment and animals, and you know what I mean? Like you love Mother Earth, right? Like, I mean, that's a dumb question, but obviously, right? Like, so what I'm doing now is I'm helping trap them in saying, yeah, I'm all about helping the planet, and nobody's going to object to you on that. Be like, screw that, I want to dump my garbage everywhere. Like, everybody naturally has a green thumb. Everybody naturally, even the macho Texan that's like, man, I'm all about, like, that's all liberal, that's all just phony, green, you know. And I guarantee you, it's like, you like nature, you like helping. Everybody has that natural tendency. So I want to build the problem of, a lot of people don't realize, like, the smokestacks, the coal plants, the impact, and you kind of pull on that. Another problem that you could have would be, oh, currently, like, why do you rent your power, sir? And they're like, what do you mean? And you're like, so you're renting your power, aren't you? And they're like, what are you renting power? And they kind of get like dumbfounded and be like, oh, what we're doing is, do you guys rent your house? Like, no. They're like, why don't you rent your house? Like, well, because that's stupid. You're like, yeah, and that's why we're here. A lot of people are in the same spot where they're actually renting their power. And once I explain to them that what you just said, that's stupid. Yeah, that's why we're here. A lot of the neighbors have loved what we're doing because we're actually letting people own their power versus rent their power. Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's kind of dumb to rent, right? You're throwing money in the garbage, and they're sick of paying 5, 6, 7, 8 years, $300 a month. And then when they move, just like rent, all that money went to the landlord. All that money paid off the other dude's mortgage. That's not smart, is it? And they're like, no, that's dumb. Yeah, but that's why you own your home, right? You're smart, right? Yeah. Like, yeah, that's actually why we're here. We just found that a lot of people are getting kind of taken advantage of where they actually are renting their power, and they didn't realize there's an option to actually own your power. That would be another like, oh, now I'm listening now. You've created some interest with me. So these are different approaches or different lines that you could use throughout your interest building phase that's going to speak to the customer and pique their interest.